Okay, so like any other session that we've done in the past, it's going to be more of a Q&A towards the end. I would rather have you guys challenge us and figure out if you can stumble us with Q&A at the end. We'll probably have a good 20-minute session after the slide. And the goal is to basically try to get a wrong answer out of us so we can answer the right question or right answer for you guys. Okay? So today's session is more about partials and what to do with data. And I'm basically going to introduce everybody here. And we're going to talk about how to discuss to monetize leads that you've already captured, leads that you're potentially capturing, and what to do with actual buyer leads, etc. Okay? Oh, damn, Brian, they took the picture out.
That's okay, I'm here.
Okay, so my name's Fernando. I've been in the industry for about 10 years. I've started as an affiliate, more so. Started a blog as well, and I've recently been an advertiser, product owner for the past 2 years. And in being in this space, from transitioning to a traffic generation person to actually having my own data is very, very helpful, where I've actually know to look at data more in depth and what to look for. So we're going to learn a lot of awesome stuff here. JJ?
Yeah, I'm JJ Allen. I first started in affiliate marketing back in mid-2013, like I would say May or June of 2013. I made my first $1 million within my first 6 months as an affiliate. After that, I transitioned progressively over to become an advertiser. I now own a skincare company. And one of the biggest curves in becoming an advertiser was mainly this topic that we're about to discuss. That's why I'm very excited about this topic, because discussing about what to do with your partial leads and how to monetize your existing customers is one of the foundations of running a successful business as an advertiser. So awesome. I'm excited for today's session.
Brian?
My name is Bryant Hussey. I've been in the industry since 1996. I'm responsible for online marketing, partnership, and acquisition for Atlantic Coast Media Group. We are a women's luxury skincare retailer, multi-channel.
Awesome.
Oh, and I'm excited to be here with guys that I consider my friends as well.
Awesome. We're friends too.
Likewise.
Okay, so basically today's topics, partials and buyers, basically all data. Okay, so partials, what are partials? Basically, these are data information, data points that users already opted in somewhat, but haven't really taken action. And the action is usually something that where the consumer is taking their credit card out to do an action or buy, okay? And buyers are obviously buyers. They took out a credit card and they've purchased something, okay? And basically these are the 2 key points of the main conversation for today. And the conversation for today is basically squeezing out as much money as you can from the consumer. It doesn't sound that good, but it does sound good for us and for everybody else, because we're going to be making a lot of money as well, right? But there's an aggressive way to do it. There's a very legit way to do it. There's a wrong and right way to do it. There's very multiple ways to actually look and squeeze a lot of cash from one person, okay? And then toward the end, you can tell me if I'm right or wrong, if it's legit or not, okay? Everything here is more a relationship with either your partials or your buyers, and you can look at it from both aspects. You can create a relationship to have a long-lasting ROI, or you can have a non-relationship and be very, very aggressive and just have the relationship right then and there in that current situation with that consumer right there, okay? And relationships is very, very easy to take a partial and mend and mold them into a buyer later on, okay? Even though you're not making money now, you might make money later, and that consumer can be your source of traffic later on, okay? Guys, want to add to this?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that you also have to realize someone who's a partial is not someone that you would come across by prospecting. This is someone who's expressed interest, who's given their information to you. So, you have a higher probability of, making money, from them in the long run.
Yeah. I consider it very important in establishing a good relationship with the prospects, because the only reason why a prospective customer did not become a customer is because they didn't like, know, and trust you. So if you're able to build a follow-up and build a good relationship and rapport with your prospective customers, then they're more likely over time to naturally become customers, because you've delivered value, you've shown them good information, et cetera, that they actually believe in you, that the things that you say will work for them.
Yeah, I also think that someone who's giving you their information and they're learning to trust you, instead of the generic "Hey, you left something in your cart" type messaging, let them know like who you are and what you're about, and like why they should trust you and actually be your customer.
Correct.
Yep. Another part of this slide will be lead distribution. And lead distribution is allowing distribution to lead to other email agencies, to call centers, to wherever you want. Basically, you can sell the lead, or you can distribute it to other centers. For example, if you're starting out and you don't have an autoresponder, you can give it to an autoresponder email service that will mail for you, optimize your leads for you, and then they'll clean it for you, so you don't have to do all that work, okay? And this way you can work a JV deal with that broker or that agency, and it can be a good and bad thing at the same time, because they're creating a relationship, not you, right? You know your product, they don't. All they know how to do is email and inbox. That's really, really it. And it can be bad because when we're talking about relationships, they can just throw anything in the email, just quick offers, and then obviously that data becomes diluted and probably has no sense or use probably after about 30 days, okay? It could be bad, it could be good at the same time because you're not really touching anything. You don't have to do of the monetization that the agency is doing. You don't have to actually clean, scrub, make sure they're inboxing properly. So that work is really offhand. You can concentrate on just what you know how to do best.
And also, I wanted to add, when doing it by way of an agency, the agency has an ultimate goal, which is to make money. The agency has, no interest in, compromising your brand or not. So if you're sending the messaging, everything you say, you protect your brand at all times. Whereas when the agency sends it, they just want to keep sending email, get you to open, and just squeeze $1 from you.
Yeah, I also like to make sure that they're not reselling and rebrokering that same data, so that same email doesn't end up on 20 other people's list. You know what I mean? So I make sure of that, and also make sure that whatever they're promoting is in line with that demographic, with that customer. So, for example, if it's skincare partials, I might be more lenient to a company that's in makeup, oil-free makeup that might be in tune with that customer at the end of the day.
Okay, kind of mentioned this a little earlier, low value, longer retention, okay? Some partials, they can stay with you for a longer amount of time, which is the relationship side of building your list. And you can give a lot of other stuff, auto-responding to service, talking about articles, etc. It's all more of like trying to figure out, should I give X amount of a price point or give them an aggressive price point? Now, it's either making money later or making money now. Like, for example, our products are probably high price because we won't need to make the money now instead of later, where we're actually starting to test a strategy to do a lower price point, hoping to have a longer retention. And we've done that on a membership subscription that we've had, and we have a retention about 8 months. So instead of a 2.5 or 3 month retention on a $100 product. So we're trying to test to see if a $20 a month over 8 months worth it, or a $100 product over 2 to 3 months over X amount of volumes. So those are the numbers that you kind of have to play around with and kind of figure out as well on your own.
I think something also important in retention is to give them something else. So we do a lot of beauty product subscription-based models, and okay, like you're my customer, I bill you $80 a month or $60 a month, but if you have other products, you could give them the ability to, purchase a face wash or purchase something else, and a lot of the, retention comes from there because they're staying with you, not for the subscription, but they're staying with you for everything else you can offer.
Correct. Ditto.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, what happens is, especially like in skincare, when people apply their skincare regimen, it's not just 1 or 2 products that they use. They use a various set of products. When I've surveyed women, on average, I found that they have 6 different products that they use throughout the day to take care of their skin. So if you're only offering 1 or 2 products to them, then it's kind of doing a disservice to them because there's other things that they need help with, whether they know or they don't know,
And you want to be the one to offer it to them, or else someone else is going to.
Yeah.
going to.
Yeah. And
I mean,
CVS.
other price points. I've also heard a quote, saying you'd rather have a river of pennies and nickels and dimes instead of dollars, and that's because nobody's going to recognize a $2 transaction on their bank statement every month, right? And that's pure profit every month, where somebody's going to recognize a $100 charge right away. So having a $100 charge right away can make you profitable now, but if you can risk the time and put an investment to put a dollar charge on a million people a month, that's $1 million profit a month, instead of probably doing 100 people at $100. You're only getting a couple thousand. So it's all based on variations on how you want to test your leads. So the best part, what I want to talk about, which is probably going to go in depth, is basically the funnels on how I do and how these guys do their optimization on partials and buyers. And obviously the funnels are important. You're basically filtering out the lead and trying to squeeze the amount of money from everyone. So let's go into it. This is a lead funnel that I made for myself for a product I've had 3 years ago. And it starts off two ways. There is a downsell and obviously the order page. So the sales page is obviously where the offer page is. We describe the product. This is what they're going to be getting. They fill out the form. The form is a partial. If they're going to take it or not, it becomes a buyer or becomes a partial with a downsell. You can see if we look to the right, you'll see the order page. If they confirm the order page, they are automatically subscribed to a autoresponder service, and then put down to a downsell if they don't actually get the first upsell. If they go for the conversion, you can see on the right, it goes through an upsell with a 90-day, and if they don't take that upsell, it goes down to a downsell. So if you just look all the way to the right, you'll see order page. If they converted and bought something, they're automatically put to a 90-day autoresponder, and then they are sent an upsell to optimize that data more. And if they don't, they get a downsell, and then that will be the end of that funnel. But if they go to an order page, and we look slightly to the left, they're automatically sent to a 90-day autoresponder with a downsell of $10 off the initial product. If they do convert, they get put to a different 90-day autoresponder with an upsell. If they don't, it goes through a downsell, and then it goes to the thank you page. If they do get the downsell, they get a BOGO offer, buy one, get one off, and converts. Obviously, you go through another thank you page, and then they're sent to a 90-day offer, autoresponder. Far left is if they go to the sales page, they don't buy, right on the page, we throw a pop-up at them, and we say take $10 off right away. If they convert, obviously 90-day autoresponder. If not, another downsell, conversion, et cetera, et cetera. So it's kind of a straightforward funnel that I have here. And this is basically what I've done in the past, basically monetizing all the funnels from start to finish, from buyers to partials and figuring out what to do with partials and buyers. Next slide is basically my email funnel. There's two types of 90-day autoresponders. And this is how I basically do all my downsells. First couple days, this is what I do. Try to downsell the product for the next 5 days. If not, I try to just put a bunch of affiliate offers and see where they're at. And this is where the email series, product referrals, and then I always try to mention my product always with a discounted price. Okay, and then obviously a 90-day entry for downsellers are more of the email series, product entries, and product referrals, where I don't become more aggressive because they've already bought. So, any of you guys want to add to any of these two slides?
Yeah, I think in the first funnel, it's actually really good because it's a huge if-then statement. It's like, if the customer does this, then do this. If not, always know what the next move is going to be. Because what happens if you come up with a formula that says, hey, if the customer says no here and no there and no there, what are you going to do? You can't have the answer of I don't know. Always know what you're going to do, and just because this funnel works for Ian doesn't mean it's going to work for JJ. I think the biggest thing is map it out, structure it out, and you have to test it. We have fairly, we deal in the same vertical and have fairly similar products, and I can guarantee you that my funnel is a lot different than Ian's. Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing is, you can use things like this, as a framework, but if it doesn't work, don't abandon it because you have to, figure out what funnel is right for you.
Yeah. I think it also comes to the point of whether you want to be aggressive or not aggressive. I know I've seen a lot of people take it as far as, I know he has a couple of upsells and buy one, get one free downsells and stuff. I've seen people take it as far as like 5 or 6 upsells. And the problem what happens there is that the customer inadvertently just buys everything because they're in a buy mood. So they're buying everything, buy. Then at the end, they find out that they purchased over $600 worth of products. And they're like, I got $600 worth of product. I don't know if this is even going to work for me. Like, so, that ends up being a lot of complaints and stuff like that. So, try not to be too aggressive with it. And there's also other follow-up funnels that you can go with it as well. There's always SMS, text messages that you can send out to customers. And there's also always outbound calls that you can have your customer service representatives call customers. But call customers within a certain time frame after they visited the website, because they're currently at a peak state of motivation to find out about that product. Usually people don't buy because they don't like, know, or trust you, or they're missing some information. How am I going to use this? In which order am I going to use this? When do I use this? Can I apply makeup before or after? Do I put on a moisturizer? So there's a lot of other questions that people have that maybe you didn't answer that question during your funnel or during your sales page, or maybe they just didn't see it there. So there's always a good follow-up sequence that you should have with people in order to answer those very general and very, real questions that the everyday consumer has.
I also think one of the biggest things here is know when to stop.
Yeah.
When enough is enough. Even at point of sale. Like, I would love you to buy $600 worth of products, but is that just going to make you get overwhelmed and return everything? In the email funnel, is that going to result in you just one day just hitting spam and you compromise my IPs, you compromise my mail domains, my brand? Know when your breaking point is. Look at your IPs, look at your deliverability, look at certain things, and are like, okay, I think by autoresponder 3, by autoresponder 5, my unsub rate jumps from 2% to 20%. That's probably the point where you should stop and call it a day.
I mean, this is why I have my 90-day autoresponder. I usually end it around 90 days. There's some of them where I end around 45 days, because it's where I find the consumer kind of don't want to hear about the product anymore. They don't want any more information. You'll hear in like the biz op industry or affiliate industry or make money online, send emails every day, multiple times a day. And it doesn't work for my specific product that I have. Even some of my web hosting companies or software companies, it doesn't work that way. Even though you're feeding them value and information, some of these people, they don't even want to listen anymore. They just want to use the service and product, and that's it. And after 90 days, I basically do certain specific things to it. The data, I clean it out, figure out of those who are the actual true buyers who've been buying, and dig deeper into that specific data. Mm-hmm. So basically, funnels, obviously analyzing everything from visits to leads, qualified leads to non-qualified leads. So it's basically the snapshot of what the funnels are. Now, this is where I kind of like going into different types of funnels, because what you do with the data is really, really important. Like, for example, we're going to talk about card types, traffic types, call center scripts, purchase price sequence. And what I really like to do, what I've recently got into, is more of the card type funneling. Okay? And the reason why I like this is because I get to make my own demographics with a Visa, MasterCard, Discover, and Amex person. I have 4 specific demographics: a person that uses Amex, a person that uses MasterCard, Visa, and Discover. Once there's specific criteria for each of these. For example, Amex, obviously high purchasers. There's really no limit on their credit card, and you can get much money as you can from each of these people. Traffic type, obviously Google versus Facebook versus 7Search versus email buys versus RTB. All of those are also different, and they should go through a different funnel as well. Call centers on partials, it varies based on what JJ just said. You want to finalize them either at a 10-minute mark, maybe at the OCC level, order call confirmation, and then from there, fix your funnels on that aspect. And then purchase price sequence, it's basically starting them at maybe $5 or $80, and then molding and mending that consumer to a higher price point or a lower price point. It could work both ways. So let's just go into card type. This is my best. I love doing the card type funnels because it allows me to make really a lot of money right away. So for example, I'll use purchase price sequence with card type funneling. For example, if I have a product at $100 and they've entered their credit card and they hit submit, we've already made a transaction for $100. I know they're an Amex person. I'll send them to an upsell page for probably a different product that I usually sell to maybe a Discover card person at $20, but I'll sell it to an Amex person at $80. The same product, same value they're getting, but the price point is always different. Because a person that's using Discover card, they can, or let's say a Capital One Visa or MasterCard are probably limited on a 5K limit a month, whereas Amex, there's really no limit. Once I figure that out, I'm able to squeeze much money out of an Amex person more than I can from a specific TD Bank card or Capital One card or maybe I don't know, a Wells Fargo card. Once I know those specific information, I'm actually putting them through different funnels. Like I'll put somebody through a Capital One Master through a different funnel than a Capital One Visa through a Master, because those are two different types of people. They have two separate limits on their credit cards. And once I know the specific limits, then I put them through a different funnel so I can squeeze as much money as I can out of those people. And that information is called bin data. Once that bin data is received, that you can purchase or download, you can actually purchase for $7K, this all data, and you'll actually get the first 6 digits, and then it'll actually tell you what bank it's coming from, if it's a local bank, if it's a First Squire Bank, if it's going to be Visa, MasterCard, debit or credit, etc. Okay, and the card type allows us or me to really make as much money now instead of later, because obviously I can charge somebody on an Amex for the same product and a person that's having a Discovery card that I charge $20 because I know they're probably going to hit a limit of $500 a month versus the same product on Amex at $100. So
I wanted to add on to that importance of bin data as well. If you have a certain bank and customers who have credit cards for that certain bank consistently charge back, or they cancel their subscriptions, do you really want to present them with an entire upsell flow where you can result in 6 chargebacks, 5 chargebacks? If you know this person is potentially problematic, get them through, sell it to them, and actually cut off the upsell funnel to protect yourself in the bigger picture.
Yeah, I take it to a step where what we do is we test our sales with different credit cards as well, because we found that depending on the credit card that you use, the bank actually calls you and they're like, did you actually purchase this? Did you actually want to buy this? Do you want to cancel it now and charge back and get your money back? So there's certain banks that actually do that. So you might want to check on that as well.
Yeah, and also if you have bin data and you know a customer that's potentially problematic, you can, you basically can divert them with your order confirmation calls and put them up higher in, priority. So those are the people you want to call first, and you want to make sure they actually place the order before the bank gets to them.
Yeah. Because as advertisers, you're also assigned an MCC code, and your MCC code actually identifies you as like an internet online only retailer if you're doing a trial-based or subscription-based type of program. And that's kind of like what also flags in a lot of bank departments. So that's why I want to make sure that if a customer has this type of card, instead of me selling them some type of subscription model, I'll sell them instead on a straight sale model. So instead, offer them the same product just at a like $25 price point or $40 price point, and just call it a day.
Yeah, I think it's just really big, like Ian and JJ were saying, know your price point for your credit card.
yeah, I mean, one aspect too about the credit cards, once you start receiving transactions, you'll actually start getting your own piece of data. Basically, you're collecting your own basic set of BIN numbers as well. Once you have that set of BIN numbers, you start segmenting that information from refunds, cancels, voids to chargebacks, and then now you build your own set of data that you can use for free technically instead of buying. But that's obviously more time to figure it out. But the benefit of buying that BIN data is to actually take a look at the current transactions that you've had and figure out what bank is associated. Is it Visa, MasterCard? Is it debit or credit? Okay?
Yeah, it's like predictive modeling by way of credit card BIN.
Yeah, that is king.
Yeah.
Traffic types. This is another fun stage. I'm more of a Google person. JJ is a Facebook, Google guy.
One more Google nowadays.
Yeah.
I just like the internet in general. So
So
I'll
traffic
take any
types,
traffic.
Google definitely has higher volume. Facebook has higher volume, but is it social versus direct buys on Facebook and Google? So that funnel will be totally different on my aspect as well, because I know people on Google are more tech savvy, where people on Facebook are more, I wouldn't say social, but more, they're educated, but they're also, what's the word? Less interactive because they're out of Facebook. They don't want to interact too much, so you try to give them that information right away. Whereas Google, you're giving them a direct response ad, they click on it, they're already interested, and now you have to feed that information continuously through the funnel. And that's the big difference that I found through our traffic. Obviously, traffic types, it takes a lot of experience to test. You can test it one and test it separately after you've done Google desktop, Google mobile, Google tablet, and then you figure out which ones works, throw it up on Facebook, and then you can start testing it that way. It's just a different way to figure out how the traffic really actually works. And it definitely varies from direct ad buys. If you're buying directly from on a CPM through like weather.com, that funnel will have to be totally different from, I guess, a Google, because the direct ad response from a person that's clicking on the ads is somewhat interested, not directly interested if they're actually buying or if they're actually clicking on an ad on Google.
Yeah, to kind of sum it up, use a different funnel if your customer's coming to you by way of push marketing or pull marketing. If they're searching for, brand X, you're giving it to them and they're probably going to have a longer lifetime value anyway, versus you thinking that, they're interested in pushing the ad upon them.
Yeah.
Ian just said he advertises on weather.com.
So, for example, if I take weather.com and I just put an ad that is not relevant to weather.com at all, I've already break their interest in some way. Okay, they weren't interested in my product, but I've broken their interest enough on my banner they've clicked. So that funnel has to be different because you've broken interest, now they're interested, now you got to make them interested continuously. Whereas Facebook, they are interested, and you have to continuously feed them information, make sure they're continuously interested throughout the funnel. Yeah. Okay. Call center scripts, it's something that I've been testing more recently. Basically, what time limit should I call a partial lead? At what point is the best to actually call that person? Should I keep them on the site for 5 minutes and call them, or should I call them 30 minutes later? We found about at the 7 to 8 minute mark point is actually the best time that we've tested versus someone waiting for 15 minutes. Because they're already either waiting on the page and they're just confused. You know when you want to buy something, you just let the computer sit for a couple minutes because you don't want to put in your credit card information just yet. And that's what consumers are actually doing. They just have that page open. We have the partial data already from the first opt-in, and we're actually going to call them right away at the 8 minute mark just to figure it out if they're going to buy. And usually we're able to close around 80% of those parcels right away.
That's good because at that point, if they're not buying, they might even just be researching you and looking at other things. They might be researching your name, and some other advertiser might have said, "Stop! Don't buy this product. Instead, buy my product." So that's a good time frame, actually.
Yeah, I think it's also important if you're using something like Google Analytics. Just look at the time on site at your checkout page, and that'll tell you, are people thinking? And as much as you can do to shrink that time down, you'll convert them a lot sooner.
So outside of funnels, there are direct mail distribution, obviously email marketing, OCC cross sales, call centers, and selling the data, which is more of like a sketching point if you really, really want to actually give up data. Direct mail distribution, there's two types. Obviously, direct mail distribution to your immediate consumer, or direct mail distribution on a immediate consumer, radial immediate consumer. Basically, this means if I mail a direct mail to my consumer, I'm also mailing to 100 people around that specific consumer on a 1 mile radius. So I'm basically influencing that one consumer on that one corner, but also the neighbors that are next to them. Those are two types: email marketing, autoresponders versus direct push mail marketing. OCC calls, order call confirmation, cross sells, basically is once we confirm their order, we've known that they bought the product, and now we want to upsell them through the phone. Instead of doing it through the website, we noticed that they didn't buy any of the upsells. We will call them to confirm the order and then try to upsell them through the phone. Some people don't like to be trusted on the internet. They'll only buy one product, go through the whole funnel and not buy anything. But eventually, if we give them a call they'll actually buy more products from us, even on a subscription level, because they're actually talking to somebody. Call centers, it's all cross-selling. From my perspective anyway, we have a curator in-house for our stuff, and we can figure out at that point what are the consumers really interested in. Are they not liking the funnel because there are too many steps? Are there aggressive prices on the page? Once we know that, we're able to change it. And in selling the data, obviously you sell the data. You can sell it for $5 a pop in real time to 25 cents a pop after 30 days. And it all varies on when you want to sell data and how good that lead is or quality of that lead is.
Yeah, it's actually good you said that. Like I said, there will be a point, especially with, partials data, as to, it's the end. Like, I can't squeeze any more money out of this customer, or I'll just never get them to convert. So just have a plan in place of what are you going to do when the name is no good, but at least no good for you. But they'll probably still be interested in buying something else from someone else.
Yeah. One of the things I like to do is with our packaging, we like to give different samples of other products that we have to cross-sell. And we do have the phone number there so they can call us directly and order it. But we've seen a higher percentage of customers where instead what they'll do is we have an order form. And because of it fits our demographic of people that's using it, they actually sit there and, they put in their name, their address, their credit card information, because that's the way that they've been accustomed to order things in the past. So we get tons of just order forms in the mail, with credit card information that they want to purchase, their products.
What, really? That's crazy.
Write that down, brother. You told me weather.com, so, got to give back.
Okay, aggressive versus subtle. I'm very aggressive and trying to squeeze a lot right away. And there's also a good way to do it. Like, for example, I have a web hosting company. I'm more subtle than going aggressive with my current products. When you go aggressive, obviously more complaints. They're seeing all these big charges on the credit card statements. What the hell did I order? Or the wife ordered a bunch of stuff, husband gets pissed off, divorce happens. So
You cause a divorce.
Subtle is basically longevity, trust of customers, basically building the relationships. Being aggressive, lower retention because you're just so aggressive, you're claiming the fault on the consumer right away. Where you have subtle is make more consistent income. Obviously, you build that relationship over time. Okay? And at the end, just call it a day and move on, especially if it's a aggressive campaign that you're running. Because all your goal is either to squeeze around much money now or later. And that's your choice to really, really make.
I think a big part of it, too, is how long do you plan on being in business? We've been in business for 11 years, so we go more to the subtle approach. And additionally, I believe now we have, in total, over 110 products. So if you don't want to buy from me now, it's not okay, but it's okay. And, I'll potentially sell you something else later.
Yeah.
Yeah. The aggressive approach, a lot of people take an aggressive approach because it's better to make money now, and they really don't care about the data, and they sell the data within 24, 48 hours. But then again, it's really, really up to you what you want to do with that data.
Yeah, I've gotten the aggressive approach. I've gotten the $600 tickets, but it was just a headache. I'd strongly advise against it. Strongly.
Yeah, there's good and bads about it. You can deal with the customer service now, or you can deal with customer service later. It's all about volume, and especially the amount of volume you're doing. If you're spending like 50 to 100K a day in ad spend, then you're going to get a ton of customer service people, right? That are always going to be asking questions and why they get charged this, why they get charged that. Whereas maybe if you're spending, $10,000 a day, a little bit more subtle, you can have a good flow of consumers based on your relationship building through the funnelizing.
Yeah, to back up a lot of the stuff, what I would do is always send something in the packages that reinforces who you are, that's legitimate, who you are, what you do, how you help people, and how the products can help them, and specifically, and how to use them. Your background of the company, if you're PETA friendly, where you don't test on animals, if you're made in the USA. Those are big points that a lot of consumers they really care about. And it's really shocking to me because I buy products from almost every single major competitor in my space, and I get the monthly packages as well. And it's ludicrous that I see that they just send out the product itself. There's no phone number. There's nothing that says how to use a product, what the product is, who the company even is. So of course I can understand where a lot of people are upset in the industry, or a lot of customers in the industry are upset because they just get a product. Like there's nothing in there that solidifies and backs up the genuinity of the product, if it's even any good for them, or how to use it. You know, make sure that you're reinforcing everything. I mean, if you're making like $80, $100 per customer on a monthly basis, why not just, you know, throw in a brochure? A brochure costs like 3 cents, you know? Just throw it in there and speak more about your company, who you are, what you do, how you're helping people. Other people have gotten good results. You know, if you want to do some type of a contest of the best improved customer, you know, gets like a free vacation or something, you know. There's different things that you can do to entice customers, and you can have them become ambassadors even of your company, where they're going out and they're spreading the word of your company, you know, and helping you to sell products for you.
Free vacations. Yeah. What I also notice is no matter you want the rebill, you want the charges, but at the end of the day, if the customer says, I don't want it, like, don't fight the customer. If they want a refund, give them a refund. If they want to cancel, cancel. Because if you don't do that, like the internet is written in ink. They're going to write bad things about you online, and I'm sure that, you know, if you're like hitting up a partial, you know, with emails, that they're going online and they're looking at your reputation. And if online saying, you know, JJ promised me a free vacation and, you know, I'm still at home, then they're never going to buy from you.
I just sent them to the movie theater. No, I'm joking.
Okay, so we're gonna have this open up for questions for the rest of the session, just because it's what I like best. Is I want you guys to try to stumble us on any specific data on partials, specifically more on affiliate side or advertiser side, since I come from both. I know JD comes from both, and then we can figure out how to help you monetize your funnels specifically. There's going to be a microphone being passed around, so just raise your hand up if you have a question, and then we'll speak. Except him.
Thanks, Ian. Could you go back to the lead funnel slide?
Okay.
If you could, I'm not trying to stump you, but if you could tell the crowd what type of conversions you see on each level, and where's your sweet spot?
Okay, so let's say start to the right all the way to conversions. Conversions, let's say the page converts at 80% from offer to the first upsell. And then from there, there's probably another, that first upsell probably upsells at 40%. And then the downsell actually goes up around 70%. So once I get the upsell, I try to upsell that to consumers around 40% upsell rate. And then if I do downsell, it's actually a higher rate because it's also a lower price point.
Yeah, I'm actually seeing like severe degradation after the second upsell.
Yep.
So, you know, from first upsell to second, I'm seeing around anywhere from like 49 to 60% take rate. And by putting in the third offer, I'm seeing around 12% total take rate.
Yeah, same thing.
Huge drop.
I mean, it's the reason why I only have one or two. It's because by the time they're getting pushed so many products, just imagine a salesperson telling you the whole store after you bought just a bottle of water. They're going to like, hey, you need to get coconut water, you need to get watermelon water. By the time you get to the third pineapple water, you really don't care anymore, you know? So now if we go to the downsell page, where I give them 10% off, this is actually a higher take rate. It's actually about 90%. And I only have them one upsell, which is also converts at, I want to say 60, actually, down, up. Yeah, around 60%. And then there's no downsell on that aspect. Once they convert it, I just leave them at that and give them a thank you page. And the reason for that is they really weren't interested in the beginning. I've got them interested because I've discounted something. And by me upselling, I'm not going to force the order. If they don't want it, they don't want it. They want to buy it, they want to buy it, and that's it. I cut it off. Because at that point, for me, once I've added so much funnel to the end, they just want a refund because they weren't really interested in the beginning anyway. So they were only interested because they got $10, they saved $10, or they saved $20, or they got 20% discount, something like that. So there's only one funnel on each, and that's it. On the autoresponder side, it's basically, let's say the first 5 days, it's all time discount my product, sell my product. And then after that is all valued information, why do you need the product, and it's also in association to affiliate offers or back to our product. But most of the time, it's always trying to give value with a product mention.
I was going to say, also be aware that these percentages are not online specific or even vertical specific.
Correct.
These are the conversion rates that we see for our unique products. If you're offering something, our like price point is, $199 risk-free trial, let's say, or, pay $20 for this. If you're selling high-end luxury goods, with a 4-figure price tag, you'll be lucky to get a 50% take rate on a second one. So you have to think, what is it you're selling as well.
Correct. Cool.
Yeah, and the
That good?
numbers vary also by, they vary by the traffic type, or your traffic source. If it's coming from Facebook, Google, Bing, Yahoo, AOL, etc. And also varies by if they're using a computer or a tablet or a mobile phone. And then it even varies even more depending on if they're a Chrome user, Internet Explorer user, Firefox user, Safari user, if they're on Windows or if they're on a Mac, if they're on a Linux. So it varies completely depending on those type of people. Because they're different type of people, completely.
I was also going to add, good example is, I ran a test recently, and I had product X. I had a hair care product, and I was upselling a skin cream product, and there's no real correlation between the two. So my take rate on the skincare product was 7 to 9%. Yeah, it's good, it's an additional, 7% of orders, but so all I did was flip it and offered something in vertical, still in the hair care vertical, at a lower price point, and my take rate jumped from 7% to 40%.
Yeah.
Like literally overnight. So
It did better from the skin to hair?
it did better leaving it within the hair vertical, hair restoration vertical.
Cool. Next question.
Thanks, great presentation, by the way. In monetizing partials, selling the data versus going through your funnels, what are you doing now? How much of your data or your partials are you selling versus how much of your partials are you actually running through the funnels?
For me, it's 50-50. So after about 15 days, we will give it to another agency on a JV, or we sell it. And the reason why we do that, because we're testing our internal funnel versus theirs in comparison. Because we obviously put our own emails in the data as well, so we can see their funnels, and we do a comparison on ours, and we try to figure out which one's better, and then we'll try to take their information and plug into our autoresponder and see if it works better as well. But most of the time, after 90 days, I have no use for the data. The data's kind of squeezed out and dry, and that data is already left off to be sold. But it's being sold probably for 15 to 25 cents because it is old data. In real time, it's actually only half of it will go to our, and half of it will go to an agency.
And you also have to realize if you're not selling the data, you can still mail the data, just mail someone else's offer, and you could still end up getting paid a bounty on it.
Correct. Yeah, I prefer to just keep the data myself instead of selling it. I'd rather make $100 per partial over the next 6 months than make $50 today, for example.
Yeah, I mean, the difference with that, obviously, you're creating a relationship versus where us, maybe you were just being aggressive, right? We've had a lot of data also that we've kept, and we really didn't even do anything with it. And when we started mailing, we got so many complaints. So we've all understand that, do we have time to even do partial monetization with our email data? And if we have time, we have time. But what I'm good at is traffic, so I concentrate more so on just traffic. Once I get the data, it can go through this funnel. I can do all the split testing all I want, just like I've done here. And at the end of the day, this doesn't entice me that much. I'd rather buy high volume traffic.
Well, Ian, with that, I think it's really important that you got to condition people to look for your emails. So
No, I agree.
After they purchase the product, hey, actually a video that says, hey, you should actually check your inbox because we sent you your order confirmation, and you should check it because in the next couple of days we'll be sending you your shipping number so you can keep track of it as it's en route to you.
Correct. So what we do with also on our email stuff, we do condition. Let's say they buy something. We've actually conditioned to say, hey, in the next 3 to 5 business days, you'll be receiving the product. Day 2, we actually explain our company. Day 3, we explain what the product they just purchased. Day 4, we mention why the ingredients are in the products, why it benefits them, etc. So by day 6, 7, they've heard our company so many times that they know they've already bought it and they expected it. Instead of, hey, here's your shipping ID. If they get the product in 5 days without any mention, sometimes we have consumers, oh, I didn't know I bought this product. So JJ's right. Conditioning them is also helpful in the fact that you're mentioning your company, you're mentioning your product, so they know that they've actually bought it.
Yeah, because a lot of these consumers, they don't just buy from you, like just your product. They'll buy from like 3 or 5 different companies at a time, and they'll just want to see which one does the best for them, which one's going to be the best for them at the end of the day. So if you're not conditioning them to check your emails, to have a direct relationship with them, they're just going to think you're one of like someone that you bought a long time ago you don't really care for, unless you're giving some type of value and following up with them. Make sure you check out this next email that we're going to send you tomorrow. We have a surprise special gift for you since you're a dedicated or loyal customer to us, etc.
Awesome. We're about 15 more minutes. Anybody have any other questions?
Great presentation. I was curious if you had any insights that you had got from in related to chargeback percentage correlated to the bin data.
Yeah.
Could you speak to that?
Yeah. So since we've been getting a lot of chargeback data, we actually bought bin data because of chargebacks. So because of our hard chargebacks, we're like, why is this happening? So we figured, let's say a union bank is more prone to give a chargeback to the consumers right away without even questioning, answering, even though they're in the wrong. They're a union bank. They're a very local bank. They're basically meant for the community. Like like a Ramapo college credit card or something like that, right? They don't care who the consumer is. If the student or whatever complains, they just charge it back. So what we actually do on our side is we put them through a different funnel. We actually, instead of going through a subscription process, we look at that bin data, we deny their credit card, and then we give them a straight sale offer. So we give them a different offer based on that bin data because we know that bin data is a high chargeback profile. So what we've done is we've taken groups of bins and profiled them. And based on the profile that we've done, we've actually created a specific funnel, and either we accept the transaction or we deny the transaction. There are times where we have specific bin data where it is a high transaction, like a Capital One MasterCard or a Capital One with points. The chargeback people will actually call. So what we do is we deny the transaction on both subscription and straight sale, and we actually tell them to call the consumer, or we actually call them within 5 minutes. So we deny, even though we're losing the sale, we deny the transaction right then and there, but we try to make the sale on a phone call because now we have a recording to prove that we can give it to Capital One. So based on the data we've given, it's all profile set. So like in the beginning, like I said, Amex is a profile, Visa, MasterCard, Discover is a profile. Now we've set profiles in specific banks, specific bins, et cetera.
Yeah, it's actually what I had touched on before. That's predictive modeling by way of bin data. If you have the ability even to, by recognizing the bin, it's a high-risk bin, high chargeback bin, you know that, and you decide to give them a trial versus straight sale, can you even send them a different autoresponder? Like just saying, hey, please be aware, this is a trial, put them to the top of your, OCC queue, and I think that's like pretty important as well. But what these guys are doing, saying, you know what, we don't even want to compromise the chargeback and we'll just give you a straight sale. But if you do decide to give them a trial, see what you can do. Like I said, top of OCC, different autoresponder, even a different script just for those people at the phone level.
Yeah. There's also fraud prevention companies where you can connect with, where what they do is they aggregate data of people who have already charged back within the same vertical. So they might have bought several different products from different companies. They might have done a chargeback with all of them. So if they go to approach and buy your product from you, instead of you selling them your product, you might just want to tell them, hey, listen, unfortunately, we're all sold out for the day. You should check out one of my partner affiliate sites and then send them over to an affiliate offer instead.
Yeah. One of
Have
the
them
fraud
take the
prevention
risk.
tools that JJ mentioned is that has the biggest amount of chargeback data. It's probably Count. Count, K-O-U-N-T. It was created by ClickBank, and obviously they went through FCC ruling through the whole BizOp industry, and they have a bunch of data that they've used to help fight fraud prevention, and they've actually also do profiling on their back end as well. So.
Yeah, we use Count heavily, and I would highly recommend it because what they're also doing is they're fingerprinting devices. So, if the customer information that someone's putting in your form doesn't match, the IP of where, they're coming from and things like that, those orders will get automatically flagged, for some type of fraud review.
Yeah. And it's common. I mean, people just buy the product, cancel it, do a chargeback, just so that they can sell it on eBay or Amazon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Any questions? Right in the back.
I got 2 questions, if that's okay.
That's fine.
I'm in the call center business for 21 years, and so my first question is asking you guys, we're always looking for partials. So where do you suggest is the best place to reach out and find that?
Affiliate Summit.
I mean, I guess it's different from our
Here.
standpoint.
What's that?
I guess it's different from our standpoint because it's either we want to sell or we want to give up or we want to keep it. Are you saying we want to look for more partials or we want to give you partials?
We're looking for partials,
you're looking for
always.
partials.
Yeah, always.
I don't know, really.
I would say, well, obviously here at Affiliate Summit, there's a lot of partials here. Maybe go on like the offer boards and just see like what the top, male muscle, skin, diet, BizOp type offers are out there. Anything that's 2-page microsite type deal. Information on page 1 and cart level page 2, and just reach out to the advertisers. That's probably the way to look out there and see, what's out there offer-wise.
Yeah. There's, first of all, the easiest thing you could do is just walk around and see who says advertiser on their badge.
Yeah.
That's the easiest. But then there's also specific advertiser events here, the parties, like a Limelight party, for example. You can go over there. If I were you, I would take it a step further. Maybe do some type of sponsorship with Affiliate Summit, where there's like inserts in the attendee bags, for example. Then everybody gets it, so you might get, even if you get 1 or 2 people, it's well worth it. Different things like that you might be able to do as well.
And also the Facebook groups.
Yeah, the Facebook
Yeah.
groups, yeah.
The Facebook groups are huge. It's like, it's my schedule, basically. I just look on and like what's going on tonight, industry-wise. Just look on the Facebook boards. And that's where you also know, like, where any players, whether big or small, are going to be.
Yeah, but get references if it's going to be like that as well.
Yeah.
Because there are people that could just sell you straight up just garbage.
Yeah.
Second question, trying to take your business model and use it in our business model as far as upsells and everything like that. We do a step 1, step 2. What are your thoughts about, selling in addition to that, but affecting your residual business in the same thought process?
Are you doing it from the call center side?
Yes.
So you're calling the consumer, you're selling them step 1, then you're selling them step 2.
Correct.
Okay. So that becomes, it goes back to the funnel, right? If I would put, right now we do that somewhat in our funnel where they get the order, it goes through a partial, and once that partial, we call them within 8 minutes, and then you guys sell step 1, step 2. The only funnel that you get after that, on our perspective, is just an autoresponder funnel. And we actually call them on day 14 and the first rebuild initial charge, day 45. So this way, they actually know they're going to be rebuild. It doesn't really, the retention rate for us on the call center side is actually better because they've actually talked to somebody. And they've also gotten a discount. So if a $100 product, for example, they've discounted to probably $30, that retention rate for me is actually around about 8 months. So on the call center side. So, I mean, it works really, really well for us. But it's only step 1, step 2. The only time we upsell them is through the autoresponder within 90 days, and after 9 days, again, I don't do anything much with that data.
Yeah, on day 45, I send them an insert that says, please call us so we can give you a reduced pricing, 75% off. So they automatically take it down to $25, around $25. So it'll be a $50 monthly residual after that. Then all the samples that they get just adds onto it, so it could go back up to like an $80, $100 monthly.
I actually had a question for you. The two products, your step 1 and step 2, are the rebill rates and the rebill day, are they linear?
When you say linear, what do you mean?
Are they both being, let's say hypothetically, day 30 or day 45? Are both products being billed on the same day?
Yes.
And are the amounts dramatically different?
$10 difference.
Yeah, what I see, we do a lot of step 1, step 2s also, and it's identical rebills. What we're also doing is a huge thing there is we're not, even though we own all the products, we're not billing multiple charges as the same company. Each product is billed as a standalone company. So that's like, something that's helping.
I guess you're talking about like the bank descriptors?
Yes, bank descriptors.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's one issue that we have a different issue on. And they actually go through a different call center funnel based on a bank descriptor. So,
Do you do it different days too?
No, we actually rebill on the same day.
Same day.
Both charges.
all right,
See, I'm
5
learning
minutes. 5 minutes.
I'm learning too.
Next question, right here up front.
Hi, I have a quick question. I just wanted to know, besides Count, what other systems do you like to use in your funnels?
Like, kind of generic.
What kind of systems?
What kind of, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of fraud systems. There's like Fraud Logic, there's CPA Detective,
Scrub kit,
yeah, there's Scrub Kit. I mean,
MaxMind.
Maxmind is very generic.
I was just going to say, everything we use outside of Count is
Internal.
proprietary.
Yeah. same.
But in regards to just optimization funnels, I think I'm a fan of Google Analytics, like personally.
Oh, also Verify and Ethica.
Oh, yeah.
Verify helps you to reduce your overall chargebacks, and then Ethica helps you with fraud prevention as well.
As far as optimizing the funnel tools, we don't really use a tool because we monetize and change it on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
So we don't I know there's like clickfunnels.com. They automate their funnels, but I think that's more for the biz op industry affiliate space, not really for our specific niche specifically. But in the end of the day, you still have to test. Like, I know JJ's funnel is an aggressive funnel, or has like maybe 10 upsells, where mine it's only like 2.
Yeah.
So it's all testing.
So like in my optimization, I'm actually drilling down significantly further. So some people are looking at, just, what is my conversion rate from, page 1 to page 2, cart level type, just, mobile versus desktop. I'm actually drilling further, and I'm doing it by OS major, by OS minor, by device type, and, on occasion, even down to the browser level. And, so I'll say, my mobile, I'll say, hey, I want iPad versus tablet versus Galaxy, and look at conversion rates page by page at the unique device level.
Just to add to that, like for example, a lot of people, they want to do responsive mobile pages. We don't do responsive at all. We do specific tablet, specific mobile, specific desktop. So the responsive designs, they're awesome because it's automatically one design for the coder and developer. But we specifically make one page for a tablet with a specific design checkout for the tablet, with a specific design for the mobile, etc. So, I mean, that's one thing that has helped through my finalization of leads and partials. So,
Yeah.
Last question, right up here. Yep, about 3 more minutes.
You guys had mentioned Google versus Facebook for generating traffic. I'm curious, obviously in your industry you guys are targeting a very specific demographic. Have you found any success using the Facebook's lookalike campaigns?
I would say yes.
What did you say?
Using Facebook lookalike modeling.
Oh, yeah, of course.
All right.
I mean, because at the end of the day, basically, you're taking your email addresses and you're uploading it and saying, hey, Facebook, do you have anyone that looks identical to our consumers? And think about it this way. When you build your Facebook targeting, you're building profiles. So you're actually, by using the lookalike, you're getting a leg up.
All right, Guy, thank you for the session. Make sure you vote on page while you move out. And we're here for a little bit more, and then that's it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.